Hello, whoever's there. Just doing some practice for the weekend. Um, in some holes on my diminished scales. Drop us a message in the chat if you know about my Instagram page and stuff like that, and see if we got some stuff to talk about. With a tired old Australian. Otherwise, it's going to be quite boring just to watch me practice diminished scales. Yeah, if you're still watching there, throw a comment in the chat. I'm a full-time guitarist over in Vegas. I've just started up a couple of little channels just to talk about what that job is actually like. Maybe some behind the scenes kind of information. So if you're a player or if you know somebody who is or who would like to know about it, give me a shout or just drop a little question in there. Or send some friends over and we can all just hang out in here and talk about what it's like to be a hired gun in a new city. I know it's a little bit laggy today, as is my playing. Hello there, Heather. I can't speak English anymore. Hello, whoever's out there watching. Say hi in the chat if you want. I'm just sitting here getting ready for my gigs for the weekend. Bunch of different stuff this weekend, but just getting my fingers moving. It's been a busy few days of life stuff, so I'm trying to keep these going. Um, in case you haven't come over from my Instagram, my name's Andrew Weir. I'm a full-time guitarist over in Vegas, and I've just started up some pages and streaming to talk about what that job's actually like and offer any help that I can for anyone who's thinking about doing it or is just starting out or anything guitar work related. So if you have it, or guitars and playing and stuff, so cool. Hello. Hi there, if you're watching. I'm just sitting here practicing my bastardized Tim Miller arpeggio forms. I'm looking at my messy hair. Hello, Heather, logged in. Just getting some stuff, my fingers going again for the weekend. some Tim Miller arpeggios, Tim Miller style arpeggios. Been a while since I've drilled these. It's been a long week of home stuff. So, fingers need to wake up a little. If you got any questions, I'm a full-time guitarist over in Las Vegas. I'm just starting up some streams and stuff to talk about what the job's like. If you've got any questions about anything guitar playing related, I'd be happy to help. I've been doing this for about 40 years now. I will say 30, I'm not that old. 30 years. And currently for the past 7 years I've been living and working in Las Vegas and touring with bands in the States after moving here from Western Australia. So I've got some information to share about what it's like to be a guitarist doing my job in a town like this, and how I built that, and what I try to do when I'm out at work to make sure I keep the work coming in. So yeah, if you've got any questions or anything, stick them in the chat there and we can get a bit of a talk going. I do have an Instagram page that kind of reflects this stuff as well, called Working Guitarist Tips, which I think there's a link on my page there. But yeah, I'm just sitting here keeping my fingers going so that everything works well on the weekend. And at the moment it's just some arpeggio practice. Not terribly interesting to watch probably. So All right, I'm back. Sorry, had to organize some stuff downstairs. Who's watching there now? Throw a comment in the chat if you're watching. I'm just here doing some work for the weekend coming off. Um, coming up. Uh, Responding to some gig requests. So yeah, I just have this little page. Um, Hey, Sly Boy. How you doing, man? Welcome back. I think I'm having a little bit of internet trouble today, but hopefully it's not too bad. How you doing? I think we're back and going okay. Just sitting here practicing some arpeggios and answering questions if anyone has any. Or if you know anyone who has any questions that you want to ask questions for them. Hopefully it's okay to watch. I'm kind of committing to being here regularly, like twice a week on YouTube. I also do over on Twitch as well. But I'm quite aware of and comfortable with the fact that there might be not many people watching for a while. So low viewer rate to start off, but hopefully we can develop a bit of a gang on here and throw some questions around with each other. Not unlike that pedal show, if everyone is... Ah, so you accidentally found me. That's cool. Cool, man. Yeah, I'm going to try to do them. I think I'm doing Twitch like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm going to try to stick in a couple of hours on YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday. I'm still working out how to schedule and stuff with YouTube. It's a bit new to me, and because I'm playing so much of the time. At this time, I'm finding it hard to find. I need a bloody YouTube coach. That's what I need. Anyway, back to the arpeggios. Please, if you got any questions, stick them down the bottom. And we'll get into it. And if I think there's a link to my Instagram page there on the Working Guitarist Tips one. I put up a whole bunch of stuff like this. Man, Rage Against the Machine. I remember the first time that I heard their first album. I was in like grade 10 at school. It's amazing. We'd never heard anyone do this before. It was a whole new world. Once we had the drop D stuff going. And I think I'm pretty sure I actually played Killing in the Name wrong. And I have for whatever it is, 30 years. I refuse to learn it properly, but I probably should one day. Which I only really ever listened to their first album. I think my brother bought the second one as well. bit embarrassed to say I'm not really um, clear on their entire catalogue. But Tom Morello did some amazing stuff for guitar. Really changed the game there for a little bit, which is important. Do I know how? I can probably... every now and then... Hey, CJ, let me know if you can hear the guitar okay. Every now and then on stage we have to play Killing in the Name Of. That's probably the only one. Oh, great, you can hear it good. Yeah, that's the only song I know. I'm sure I learned other bits and pieces when I was at school still, when those albums were coming out. I remember I had an Ibanez with two humbuckers with a different volume knob for each pickup, so I could do a bit of that stutter stuff that cool. That stutter stuff that they now put the kill switches and stuff in guitars for. I used to be able to do it. Yeah, with a two humbucker guitar with the four knobs. I could turn off one pickup and be like, that'd act like a kill switch. Obviously not on this guitar. But yeah, I don't end up playing a lot of their stuff over here. Oh wow, Linkin Park. That's another one. See, there's a little period in my life that about where like Linkin Park. I'm starting to think when were those albums, like maybe late '90s stuff, and I'd already started kind of moving over into like jazz and blues and still some of the like Steve Vai and Shreddy guys, and I missed a little bit of stuff there, kind of mid to late '90s, early 2000s, which is funny because then years later I ended up playing, which I still do sometimes, playing in a great band called Millennium All Stars, that has a whole bunch of guys that used to play with like Goo Goo Dollan, Train, and the Wallflowers, Mud, Puddle of Mud, sorry, and the Killers, and what else we have, Panic at the Disco and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I kind of missed a lot of that. Is Linkin Park in the end? Did they do that one? Is that... Am I thinking correctly? Is Linkin Park in the end? I'm... Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit of a blind spot in my music history knowledge. But I remember that stuff, man. When that stuff came out, I was playing in like a grunge kind of band back in Perth in Western Australia. Did a couple of albums, and when all that stuff came out, like Linkin Park and Korn and things, it was so new and so different to us. It's super exciting. The idea of like a 7-string guitar and turn the distortion all the way up. It was amazing. And learning all that kind of, not that I really, again, don't really do it that much now, but all those like harmonics, like low fret harmonics stuff. I'm not pretending that I can play it, but it was so exciting when that stuff happened. And it was I don't know how old you are, I'm not making... Do I know any Metallica songs? I half know a bunch of them. I was about to say when I was back at school, and I don't know how old you are, but when I was growing up, so I was in high school I graduated in 96, so kind of 92 to 96. There's no nobody had the internet or anything. A couple of guys had some CDs if you had enough money to buy stuff, and the things that we had hanging around at school were Porno Graffiti by Extreme, Passion Warfare by Steve Vai, Cowboys from Hell, Pantera, and I think Flying in a Blue Dream or Surfing with the Alien, Joe Satriani things, but also the Black Album. And we were lucky enough at my school. One of our friends bought the tab book for the Black Album, so I remember sitting down. I think the first this will be a trip if I can pull this off. The first solo I ever played on stage was Nothing Else Matters at a high school ball. Maybe 94 or 95. My dates are probably way off, but it was Nothing Else Matters. So let's see if I can remember how it goes. It's going to be a good 20 years since I played that. Yeah, let's give it a shot. Something like that, right? But aside from that, then we learn all this stuff, you know. Actually, I had to play that on Friday night. But that's the funny thing about my job is that really every week, so this week, for example, play with a band tonight, different band tomorrow night, two different bands on Saturday, and probably two different bands on Sunday as well. Each of those will have different songs that they're playing, a different kind of repertoire, a different lineup. Yeah, it was Bullseye Parade. That was the other album that my brother had. They're bloody so many cool riffs and stuff in there. So you don't have a guitar yet? You're gonna get into learning stuff? Good place to start with Rage. I also always liked how Tom Morello had his guitar up really high, because I've always had my guitar up high and people make fun of me. So I always tell him Tom Morello holds it up high. So shut up. Oh, cool, man. Yeah, it's great if you get your hands on something. You get a teacher or mess around on YouTube for a bit. That's great. Man, especially I assume you are really into that kind of music. It's going to be really fun to get a guitar in your hands and start doing stuff. And trust me, man, once you get that love for it going, it doesn't leave you. There's not a day that goes by in my life that I don't want to pick this thing up. So what do you do? Are you do you play another instrument now, or are you just a bit of a fan that wants to get into it? That's great if you're thinking about learning that Rage stuff, because a lot of it is what some people might say easy riffs, but it's hard to get that stuff right. But it's a good place to learn because it's not like jumping all over the place. So it teaches about groove and sound and attitude and all that. I do apologize if this is getting a little bit laggy here. T-Mobile is still giving us a bit of hell, so we're working on it. But yeah, if you're going to start playing guitar soon, if you know anyone else who's playing already or has any questions to ask a full-time performer, guitarist, hired gun guy like me, send them over to my channel and he can start getting a bit of a dialogue going with everyone. Because I'd love to... yes, I'm live streaming now. Where will I be tomorrow? I'm supposed to be on Twitch tomorrow from 2 till 4. If you have a Twitch account, you know what? And then what have I got? Fremont Street. I'm gonna jump on here for an hour tomorrow at we'll say 1 p.m. Pacific time. So let me add this in here. One, just for an hour, because then I do have to jump over to Twitch, but let's just change that. Great. Oh, my light just turned off. That's cool. Okay, yes, that is now in my calendar. I will be here. Sorry if you're writing at the moment. Yes, I will be here from 1 p.m. tomorrow, just for an hour. 1 p.m. Pacific time. And I'll be right back in a second. Some of our power went out, so I'm just gonna check what that was. I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Sorry, we're back. Yes, so I will be on here from 1 till 3 tomorrow. 1 till 2. yeah, so if you want to come back and hang out and ask some questions and stuff, and if you got any buddies that want to come and do the same, um, if you do have any friends that play, you can. I mean, there's not many people coming into these streams at the moment, so if you had, they could kind of consider it a free guitar lesson. I'm a guitar teacher in Vegas too, so I'm happy to just jump on here and answer any questions and have a bit of a talk about things. What do we got here? Oh, there we got somebody else jumped on. Yeah, so how you going? We're just talking about some old music that we used to listen to. I'm just practicing, getting my fingers ready. I've got to go back to work tonight. I think I got 4 or 5 gigs over the next couple of days. I'm getting the fingers moving. And this is a very new channel. If that is a new person there watching, this is a really new thing. There's not many people hanging around in it yet. We're just kind of getting started. So yeah, if you got any questions that you want to ask a hired gun Australian guitarist who works in Las Vegas, fire away. Because otherwise I'm just going to sit here and play arpeggios and it's probably going to be super boring for everyone. uh, I'm practicing some arpeggios that I haven't really worked on for a while. And they're based on a guitarist called Tim Miller. He has this little 2-1-2 system, so I worked out my own way of doing it a while ago. And every now and then I get them all warmed up again. If that light there makes anything clearer or worse. Wow, I got what's this? Oh, it has color control on it. Noob. Yeah. From this guitarist called I think I'm sure it lagged on you. We just changed over to T-Mobile here, and we're having a little trouble with the setup. So it seems to be really strong, but every now and then it'll just cut out. So if that is causing some trouble, yeah, if it's causing some trouble, and you get bored of it, I guess I just miss out on you watching my stuff. But if you just hang around, it usually comes back, and we're going to try to solve that over the next couple of weeks. Yeah, the internet is not being terribly friendly with us at the moment. Um, but I think if I checking, yeah, okay, everything seems to be working. But yeah, I'll be back on. I'll come in for an hour tomorrow if you want to come back as well, from 1 till 2 Pacific time. It's 6:20 here at the moment. Um, I'll come in and do an hour, and yeah, if you want to come back and ask a few questions, or you have some friends that want to come in, because yeah, until we get a bunch of viewers on this stream, and we work out a specific time to do them each week, there's going to be very few people in here. I'm totally okay with that. But it means that anyone who does come in can kind of treat it like a free guitar lesson, if you want. And just ask. Oh, yeah. You just unplugged your own internet. It's kind of like a self-inflicted child lock. It's a good idea to turn it off sometimes. But what I was saying was, yeah, I'll be back tomorrow for an hour, 1 to 2 Pacific. If you want to come back and hang out, or if you have any other friends that play as well, or thinking about getting into it, I'm happy just to offer this as like a free lesson for a while until we start getting a lot of members in here, which I'm not in a hurry to do. That's okay. I do my little Instagram page about this stuff as well. But I've been a professional guitarist and playing full time since I was 20, so that's almost 30 years ago now. In Since I've moved to America, I've now played with a bunch of different artists around the country. I tour semi-regularly when she goes out with Sheena Easton, who's a big star from the 80s. Also played a bit with Dr. Funk, who's a amazing bass player from the UK who moved here recently. You should check out his Instagram stuff if you get a chance. And some other smaller artists and stuff. And there's some bigger things coming towards the end of the year. But yeah, man, I'll be here, and if you've got any friends, yeah, tell them about it. And I'm happy to kind of talk about guitar stuff, or how I started my career and from moving from another country and then coming here to work, or just some stories about what it's like being on the road, what kind of equipment I use, how to deal with not sleeping much, how I keep all this going, and what I try to look after in terms of playing and relationship stuff, relationship with employers and band members and things. I'm not here to offer relationship advice to anyone. But yeah, if you usually when I'm doing online lessons or here in my studio, I charge about $100 an hour to do stuff. So if you or your friends want to jump on here, it's just bloody free for a while until we get too many people. I don't expect that to be anytime soon. Yeah, so if you want to come in and ask questions, or just this is kind of part of my practice time, so I kind of try to get my practice done. Yeah, cool. So good question. No, I am such a noob with YouTube. I've started putting out videos up, I don't know, 10 years ago, and then kind of left it alone. But I'm not sure how to do that. Hey, look like we got someone else in here. Tom Segal? What an awesome name. Welcome aboard, man. CJ, Slyboy, if you... Yeah, I'm gonna. And do you have something like that, like a little community? Right. You can be my bloody YouTube guru, mate. Yeah, because I'd like to start that community stuff. Hey, I play too many instruments. Yeah, I love this guitar. She's bloody beautiful. This is a 1986. Hey Tom, how you doing? Yeah, guys, throw the questions around. I think I've just accidentally tricked Slyboy into being my bloody tech support. So, actually, yeah, man, CJ Slyboy, if you come back online tomorrow, maybe I can get some information off you too. Um, and yeah, looks like we are getting some lag and cut off here. So if we're lagging, bear with me. We're gonna try to fix it over time. But who was asking that? I play too many instruments. Yeah. So this guitar is kind of a real special one to me. So once we dig in, oh man, I'd love to do that. Maybe we can. Here's another noob question. Can you can we send each other messages on YouTube? I don't even know. Um, but back to I play too many instruments. Yeah. So this was, if any of you guys end up hanging around long enough over time while I'm doing this stream, you'll find out a bit of my story. But there was a period, um, 15 years ago, where I stopped playing guitar for a long time, and I was just writing and doing the occasional gig, but not really playing. I decided to get back into it. Started looking for a Strat. Um, I can play the bass if I'm required to. Um, it's not a great idea because I end up playing the bass like a guitarist, which is something like. I play too much, I get fired. I actually just got offered a job playing in a bass in a show in town recently, and I turned it down because of that. I really like the guys in the band, and I know it's important to them. So I was like, I'm not the best guy for the job for that. But sometimes on theatre shows and things, I'll have gigs where I have to play guitar, maybe a 12-string guitar, acoustic guitar, nylon string, banjo, mandolin, bass, and stuff like that. So often I can play bass and record with it a little bit if I need to, but if I want it to sound good, I'll usually get a proper bass player. Tom Segal, yeah, I used to play piano, but it's been so long now. I struggled with the theory side to it, but I'd love to get back into it. Yeah, um, if you are, if it's something that you want to do, and you love it, and you feel a kind of need to do it, um, be careful with what I say here. The theory stuff is amazing, and if you can get it going, it's so helpful to you. It's so helpful. But you don't need it to make noise. So if I was you, man, I just if you can read music still a little bit, maybe grab some music books of music that you really want to play, and just sit down and start messing around. Or maybe if you know a friend that plays piano, or you can get some lessons off somebody, um, in a kind of maybe casual kind of way, like once a month or something, and just say, I want to just kind of get going again. Um, I'd do that. I mean, and it's kind of a similar story. I stopped playing for a long time, um, and when I discovered that I wanted to do it again, it was kind of all I did was I picked up the guitar and started playing again. I just started hitting notes. Got on YouTube, found a couple of exercises of stuff to do, and just played. And you might even find if now you're coming back to it from a point of view of like, oh, I really want to do this, as opposed to, I don't know, if you were made to play the piano when you were a kid, just follow that enjoyment. Man, if you're like CJ and you love Rage Against the Machine, but you play piano, just sit down and learn Rage Against the Machine songs. What made me move to Las Vegas? That's a bit of a long story too, but let's get into it. So I grew up in Perth, Western Australia. Started working in bands when I was 13 or 14 in original music and stuff. I played that, studied jazz back there, and then went out and started playing gigs as a job. But in Australia, and in that town, at the time that I grew up, there weren't a lot of playing opportunities. So as well as playing gigs on the weekend, I'd teach full time and I'd do sound engineering. Um, and then my own kind of original bands and things as well. And I got to a point in my life where, yeah, man, keep asking them. It's great. Um, as time went on, I got to a stage where I was like, well, I put so much work into this thing. I want to move somewhere where I can just play, at least for a while, just play to make my income rather than having to supplement it with the other things. So I spent a few years looking around the world for somewhere to move. I was considering um, Europe. I almost moved to Sweden, almost moved to London. I'd spent a lot of time already in the years before performing in Korea and Japan, so that was an option as well. Um, then I met a girl from Las Vegas who ended up becoming my wife. But at that point, this was kind of 8 or 10 years ago, I decided to come over and visit. And I had a look around town and I was like, well, there's lots of work for me here. Okay, I'm going to move here. So that's really what brought me here was it had the opportunity for me to play full time. So now I've just started teaching again because I forgot that I kind of enjoyed it. Um, but for me, my week is basically all my money comes from playing the guitar on stage or in the studio. Um, and that can mean anything from 5 to 10 gigs a week in town, or it might mean a big gig out of town somewhere, get on a plane and go somewhere with an artist to perform. Um, yeah, it's been a good life. It can be tricky, um, but that's. Thank you for asking these questions because it's kind of helping me clarify things a little bit. I that journey from Australia to here and now working full time, and now I do travel around the country with some big artists and do big stages and stuff. And this and my Instagram page and my Twitch stream and this um, just I would love to share how I did that with people, not as advice or telling you how to do it, but letting people know how I did it because I think that there's a lot of things that we assume about different parts of the music industry that it's just incorrect, and especially on some of the social media platforms, I tend to find maybe it's the same with the other instruments. I don't really know, but at least with guitar, there's a lot of people trying to sell you stuff. Oh, thanks for the support, guys. That's really nice. Yeah, there's stuff that I see a lot of the time with some of my students and just scrolling through Instagram and stuff. Other than guitar, what are my favorite hobbies? Nothing. If I'm doing anything, I want to be back doing this. And that's not a. I'm not being facetious. That's really true. If um I'm not playing, I want to be playing. But maybe I can give you a better answer. So the one thing I do like doing, and I actually use it as a bit of stress relief sometimes, is cooking. Because if I'm watching a movie, I want to go and play guitar. If I'm listening to a podcast, I want to go and play guitar. If I'm driving around town checking out restaurants and things, I want to be playing guitar. If I don't know, playing a pickleball or something, I want to be playing guitar. When I'm cooking, once you start it, I can't leave it. So I can, if I'm in the kitchen, it means like, yes, okay, this is break time. It can be, yeah. For me, it's kind of a stress relief most of the time because I can't think about work. 'Cause that's a little pitfall of doing something that you love as a job. Sometimes it's hard to find the balance between um, realizing that I would be doing this if I wasn't getting paid for it, but also I am getting paid for it now. I have to make sure that I get paid for it so my family can eat. Um, but being able to kind of separate it in my head that sometimes this job is hard. It's not all romantic and fancy and exciting. Sometimes it's just a bit of a drag, but that's okay. Any job is like that. But yeah, Tom, if you're thinking about getting back into the piano, come from, see if you can make yourself come at it from. This is gonna sound real woo woo, but come at it from a position of love. Like I really want to do this because it's fun and I love it. And just even if you woke up every morning and just hit the keys a bit, it's gonna help you, and that the desire to do it will carry you through all the hard parts. But who's still in there? I just saw a couple of people jumped off. So who's still in there? The chat. Yeah, Tom's still in there, right? But yeah, that's and that part of my story that you've kind of accidentally got me to let out there is that's kind of why I've started all these little platform things, is to talk about what it's actually like. And I can absolutely tell you it's got nothing to do with the greatest new 10-step system to break your intermediate plateau. Yeah, CJ, if we could do that, that'd be amazing, because I love talking about this stuff. I love helping people, and although I'm not the grand guru of everything guitar, I've experienced a bunch of different things, so hopefully I think I can help people a little with my experiences. Not advice, just kind of letting people know how I did things. We've got another cutout there. Oh, Tom, no problem. Sorry for this bloody internet stuff. Yeah, go for it, Tom. Man, thank you for asking all the questions. Let me, if you wanna, I kind of continue this, if you go jump on Instagram, that's my Instagram handle there, which I kind of talk about. They're kind of connected to this stream. But what's the question, mate? Having terrible internet time at the moment. Spoons, mate. I would much prefer that somebody... Oh, jeez, this internet's been having a hell of a time at the moment, isn't it? I would much prefer that somebody had stolen all of my HDMI cables. Because if I'm completely honest, right now I have no idea where any of them are. So they'd be kind of doing me a favor. By clearing out whatever drawer they're in. Oh, thanks so much. Yeah, Tom, yeah, please come back and say hi, and hopefully we'll have a bit of this internet stuff fixed. I hope you have a lovely day too, man. Good questions. Thanks for bringing that stuff up. That was really fun. Okay. Awesome. Okay, I'm taking a quick screen grab of that. Ah, what am I doing? Screen grab of that. Great, and then I can kind of like invite, like actively invite people into that to let them know, because that could be amazing. Let me make sure that I find you here too, mate. Let me, I feel so old and dumb. I'm just making sure I follow you, man. Oh, cool. You're doing like CD reviews? Awesome. Sweet. I'm just subscribing. Ah, okay. And I see that little community button there as well. Okay, so you've started that thing up already. So let me. Okay, cool. Thank you, man. Legend. Okay, I'm gonna do that and start to kind of slowly build that up. Cause yeah, hopefully, I mean, you heard what I was talking about with Tom just before, but that's the kind of stuff I want to find the people who want to know that kind of information, like what it's actually like to move countries, what it's actually like to be a working musician. And I'm not talking, I'm not flying around in private jets and private buses. I'm a working guy and I play in lots of different bands and artists and things. And I feel like a lot of people don't really know what that is like because we only see the Instagram clips and stuff. It's an amazing job, but I think I would like to put forward information that I've learned that might help people if they're on the same journey. And silly little things like now I know from all my years of playing that you don't use the same power supply for a analog boost and a digital delay pedal. And that can be really helpful information if you're just starting out in the game. And I would love to be able to tell everyone that doing that stuff will get you fired from a gig. So it's good to know, but good to leave alone as well. I don't know anyone that I work with who has been given gigs because they have lots of chops. I feel old today, mate. No, I'm just being an idiot. But yeah, I would have loved. I think, although I know Tom's gone now, so I don't know if this stuff interests you too. But yeah, I know when I was going through this whole journey, I never really had any mentors or people helping me through it. So, which I would have loved to have had. So if I can be that for somebody else in a separated way, even on YouTube or something like this, that'd be great to do. What yeah, there's interesting things that I've learnt about this job from doing it, especially in a different country, and how what's a good way to go about it and what's a bad way, and the experiences that show you that you're doing the right thing and the ones that show you that you messed up. It's all good stuff. I also do have to have a good look at this internet because we're no, I didn't turn it on, so I could let me. So I'm gonna do okay. Go to your channel, right? I believe I'm on my channel. Let's just go to the channel. Okay, I'm on my channel. Press the option that says edit channel. Press my community. Okay, viewers can post. I bloody did it. Yeah, so now it's turned on. Beautiful. So now what does that mean? Go to community. So do I need to invite people? Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. Hey, give me, yeah. So that community is now turned on, man. Give me a second. I'm just gonna run. I'll be back in 1 second. All right, back. Sorry about that, CJ. We're back. Oh. Yeah, I turned on that community stuff, so now that should help people, right? Does that mean that anyone can kind of post in there? I have to do a lot of research on this stuff. Confusing, man. We'll get there. Great. Okay. Okay, perfect. I just have to check. I've got a student coming up in a few minutes, so let's just check if yeah, I believe I will have to jump off in about 10 minutes. to teach a student online. But yeah, I'll make sure I come back and we can see if we can get some people in here to be talking about stuff and hanging out. I do forget when I'm doing these things that I'm on here for quite a while and I bloody forget to eat. It's just not a great idea. Not eating all day and then going to gigs at night. Yeah, if we thanks so much for helping me work out what that was, CJ. Is it CJ or Slybo? What's better? I have a student called CJ as well. Yeah, if you are thinking, maybe we can swap so many spam emails. Yeah, if you maybe at some point we could swap internet like YouTube tips for guitar tips once you get back into it. Ah, that's okay. You don't need to live stream. No. But if you want to just ask me some questions, I can kind of help. You know, once you get started playing, I can give you information for free. Oh, what did you do? Did you swear too much? I'm worried about that because I'm Australian and I swear too much. Oh, God. Well, that's annoying. Well, unfortunately, I can't help with any of that. I have no idea how it works. I'm lucky that I even worked out how to turn on the camera. So not much help there. I can tell you how to alter the notes in a chord, but maybe not fixed live streaming capabilities. I wonder if, what does this do? But yeah, if you know some other people that are into this kind of stuff, give me a shout. We'll see if we can't build a little gang in here of people talking about guitar and gigs and playing. So yeah, if you have some friends that do play or anything, I'd love to help out. Yeah, it's oh god, it's so painful. I've had things where people like hacked my Facebook account and then they wouldn't let me buy stuff or sell things on Facebook or do advertising and things, and you get into this situation where you really have no idea about how any of it works. It's quite daunting. Yeah. Yeah, right. You could do. Yeah, you could do the same. Have you tried doing it on Twitch instead, or is that? Yeah, because you could make videos of yourself playing those games and then upload them. I guess. Have you tried doing it on Twitch? Because I've been streaming over there too. I don't know if I know a lot of gamers do stuff over there. Um, so yeah, that might be an option. All right, it's coming up to 7 o'clock, so I do have a student, an online student that's jumping on, so I'm gonna have to sign off. But I'll make sure. Ah, he didn't like. Yeah, it's a little weird for me too, Twitch, but I'm just trying out a bunch of different things until I get my stuff going. But I'm gonna have to shoot off to teach, mate. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks to everyone that came in. I'll be back here again for an hour tomorrow, from what did I say, 1 till 2 Pacific time, and then I'll be deep into my weekend of gigs. So I followed your channel. Come follow me. Jump over into the Instagram thing if you like it. Working Guitarist Tips. There might be some fun stuff hanging around. Anyway, thanks so much for hanging out, mate. But I got to shoot off to my student. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Rock on, dude.